It is us. It is we. We are back at it again. Happy Friday. Uh, if you don't know us by now, sorry that you just joined. But if you just joined, also thanks for being here. Cool. So, Dragon and the other dragon, Infernal over there,
My microphone still hates my voice.
are your host for this lovely, lovely, fun show. So, as we do, we want to thank everybody that has supported us up to this point. Our numbers are going up consistently, and our recognition, or, well, not recognition, but more of like exposure, is getting internationally crazy. And it's awesome every time I look at it. It's freaking great. So our follower count is up. So shout out to our 3 new followers that came through last week.
Oh,
Thank
hey.
you.
You're welcome.
Welcome. Hope you're having fun. This is
Hopefully.
hilarious.
Hope
So
you've been having a good week.
yeah. Also, and if you're not, hope this helps. So if you're just joining us, you don't know this, and if you aren't just joining us, you do know this. So we are based on the East Coast of the United States. Well, our number for like our audience of the states is just going down because we keep picking up more people internationally, and it is fantastic.
I'm
So
okay with that.
oh yeah, I'm totally okay with it. Like, we started out obviously at 100% when we started, and then Australia shot out. Hey guys, you guys showed up. We
I've heard
have
great things of that country.
our we then the next one who showed up was South Africa. Hey, uh,
Hey,
Belgium I think was next. So hi guys in Belgium. Singapore and Ireland came in last week,
remembers that?
and oh that's right. I forgot there that is in there, and my bud Vanilla showing his love out in Kuwait. So yeah, those are all of our geographic reach that we have, and so that's so cool. um, Also our age brackets. Some of you shouldn't be listening to us.
Nah, it doesn't matter. Listen,
It is between 0 and 17.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, the breakout, it's like 0 to 17 age bracket, 18 to 22.
How is there a 1-year-old listening to this
It's not
podcast?
necessarily a 1-year-old, but I'm just saying it's definitely under legal age of an adulthood.
Okay, fine.
Ironically enough,
How is there a 0-year-old?
ironically enough, there's no 18 to 22 yet users. But the Dirty 30 Club,
Wow, Jesus.
y'all out here in droves, and I love it.
Yeah, you're gonna be part of that crew soon.
Soon I am.
I know. I mean, more out there.
Yeah, like I'm a new. I just got my membership card recently, but I'm still a member.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta get some dust on that shit.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And then we have our 23 27s, so people out repping for Infernal and Magma when he does show up, and yeah, so that's awesome. Keep it coming. You guys are great, and this is what makes it available for us to keep going. So that being said, we gotta hit that 100 mark. We gotta get 100 of you guys out here watching us and listening to us. That way we can do ads, and ads mean money. Money mean I can get more equipment. More equipment mean I can record more places, which means more content. Which means more content.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna go the route. It's like the more people, like the sooner we were able to like do like actual like video stuff or something.
It would boost the time schedule because I would be able to get another camera. I would be able to get another monitor, and maybe a soundboard if I needed it, for like the mixer, because I feel like we need that mixing if we have like our mics separate.
True. Honestly, like, I mean, hey, for those that don't know, like Discord has a soundboard now. I believe you can add up to 8 sounds. Though if you have Nitro, you can obviously have more. Hey, everything's through Nitro. But I mean, hell, until you get an actual soundboard, just use Discord's soundboard.
Yeah, but more money also means we can get Nitro for the server, for all of our
True.
lovely subscription people. So
I could make it look fancy.
we can make it look so fancy, and you guys join us for the live stuff and whatnot. So
For those that don't know, I have a thing about like decorating stuff. Like it is a bad habit of mine.
It's the reason why Sacred loves him.
Yeah. Especially when,
Anyways.
especially when it comes to Minecraft, like I will be stuck decorating a house for a long time.
After he comes out of the hole that he made.
I make that hole look nice.
You got us jumped by those freaking things.
That
The
is not my fault.
phantoms. That is totally your fault.
Just because I did not chose not to go to sleep doesn't mean it's my fault.
All right, leave it in the comments. Is it his fault or not?
It is not. I was busy.
He will stand by that story, but he'll listen mildly if a bunch of people tell him that. Yeah, no.
There were about 10 phantoms when I finally came out of the hole.
Yeah, it was too many. It was ridiculous. So, all of that being said, thank you again. This one is going to be the beginning of I want to say a 2 to 3 episode run series, because I feel like we can knock out a lot of people in a lot of time. Is going to be a new lore series for various games, and we're going to start with League of Legends because there is so much lore for it, because there's 140 champions.
Oh, there are way too many characters in that game.
There's so many. So we're going to do our best to say the current lore of them and
Spark
do
note
like we're going to definitely spark note it. We're going to spark note it and then make our adjustments to it and go from there. Also,
well, then again, when you think of the new champions, they don't really have much lore to go with, so...
which makes it easier for us when we get to that point. We're going to go alphabetical order, so some of the newer ones will come up soon, and then older ones will come up later. It is what it is. It's just easier to go through the site that way. Also, we will put out a poll for the next game.
Brought to you by Universe of League of Legends. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Not yet. Riot. We're coming for you.
We have ideas.
We have ideas. I think I think Overwatch would be next.
Oh Jesus! If we
spend a lot of time in Overwatch, so I feel like we.
Well, yeah, but I feel like if we're going to be doing Overwatch, we need to get I forget what the name we chose. I'm just gonna go Bob. We need to get Bob on TB.
Oh, Attica.
Yeah. Oh, that thing we came up with.
Yeah, that was the name that they went with because it was like from a book.
Okay. I always try to go Bob. It just sounds funny.
Well, yeah, you specifically said Bob, so that's yeah. That was yours, and Attica was the other one that we actually went with. So,
but yeah, no, we'll need to try to get them on for that one, just because they spent also a lot of time in Overwatch.
Yeah, with us. We need Sacred too. We basically need the whole crew that we ran with.
We need the party.
We need the full party, but we'll work on getting that. So, so all of the lore that we're using, we will put links in the description. It's all from the Riot page, their own like lore pages. So that's what we're going to be going for. And if you would like to know more about the game itself, you can also look that up as well. We're not going to bore you with the details of that because, frankly, gross.
Details.
All right, so let's see. Let's just kick it off. Our man Aatrox.
Aatrox.
He's up first. So I'll start us off, and then we'll kind of like jump back and forth, and that way I'm not running my mouth the whole time, and then they don't, they get to hear your beautiful sensual voice more. Boogity boogie. So Aatrox is a particular individual that is known as a Darkin. The Darkin are a race of people who got power hungry, lost that power struggle, and got corrupted. They were ascendant before, right? That's what.
Yes. Yeah. The Darkin were basically corrupted ascendant. I believe they were corrupted by the Void. Yeah, they were corrupted by the Void, and due to the corruption, when they were dealt with, they pretty much got bound to the weapons that they were using. So now, when it comes to anyone who wields a Darkin weapon, the Darkin will fight to control the host. So it's like a parasitic relationship.
Very parasitic relationship. I was like, Aatrox is the one that, well, one. He was the big bad, the biggest of the baddest of the Darken. So the form that he has is actually his true form because he body jacked his host and basically just turned it into what he would look like if he still had his body. He is in a sword, which because he's so massive equates to a great sword.
Yeah, no, it's basically a great sword.
It's basically a great sword. Like
I want to know like, because I don't know if they ever really explain like who his current host is. Because like I want to know like who saw this sword and it's like, this looks like it would be great for taking out enemies. Let me pick it up. Oh shit, I can't feel my body anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in here somewhere, maybe like in his biography, um, possibly. But that's like a lot to read through.
Yeah, yeah. No, for the Dragon will probably. I mean, if you want, he can put a link to the Universal League if you're curious about checking out some champions biographies, because there are some good reads.
There are good reads, but so the main thing of it is that he was the worst of the worst. When they say you're the ops, he's the reason why that term exists. He is the ops. Like, that is a level of smoke you can never attain. Even Snoop Dogg would be like, that's too much for me. It's so much smoke coming from this man. And he is just out here just rampaging. Now, what I would have liked there to be a change of is that Aatrox is actually slowly losing because he's been so confident in his control. So like, dude, ride with me, right? So original guy who, let's call them, I don't know, Jacare or whatever, because they're Shuriman. So let's say Jacare comes across the sword, right? He hears that Aatrox prey kind of voice or whatever. He gets just straight up devoured, right? Just that's it. But he's not necessarily destroyed, like, soul-wise, because, it's still a vessel. So, you still need it intact. So he's just kind of, like, locked away in, like, a prison, right?
Which is, the sword that he is in.
Which is the sword he is in. So basically, it was like a prison transfer, right? So it's almost like the Speed Force in Flash, if anyone ever watched that. It was basically like him coming out, like him getting someone out meant someone had to go back in to keep this stability. So Aatrox coming out meant something else got sucked in. Something else was the previous guy, right? So he's just chilling in there, right? But he's so disoriented and just hella confused, really doesn't have any know-how or, will to really, like, get out because he doesn't know what's going on, right? It's just kind of like darkness and just, that's that. But he's cognizant that Aatrox is out there doing Aatrox things, which essentially is wreaking havoc, right? This is all under the pretext that Aatrox isn't, like, destroying the world, because let's be real, he would. This is just.
Oh no, he actually is. Like,
yeah.
I took a quick SparkNotes look through his.
Oh, he out here on the loose?
Oh yeah, no, his basically, for the biography, basically what his goal is oblivion. It literally is oblivion, because he has tried many ways to either break his prison or free himself, to no avail. So basically, through a prisoner's desperation, he's like, you know what? If I can't destroy my prison, I might as well just destroy everything else. And and hope everything ends with me.
Okay, so he's just like, screw it, world ender, let's go. All right,
Yep.
so he's just
I mean, he is the world ender.
he is the world ender. Okay, so we're gonna frame all of these champions that everyone is existing relatively close to time. I say this because we do have a race that is just old, right? So they're
The Ortals.
yeah, the Ortals, but like not all of them. So it's like pretty much it's like Poppy and Gnar.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
Now he would have been frozen.
yeah, Naruto's frozen, but he's also technically, wouldn't he technically be the oldest?
Yeah. We'll get to that because we had this discussion before and we never came to a consensus, and I want to discuss it again because we need to come to a consensus of how we're going to like understand this, right? So everyone is just kind of out and about, right? Obviously, this is not exactly how in lore does. Some people don't exist at the same time as the other champions because of just timeline stuff, but this is just in general, right? That's just one of those holes that we're just gonna have to deal with. Sorry. So back to what I was saying. So you have the host is inside the sword, right? But he is in, just in this state where he doesn't know what's going on, blah blah blah, etc. So he's not fighting Aatrox's will because he doesn't know what's happening. As time progresses, he is getting more of an inclination of what's going on. He's gained some kind of sentience of Aatrox. So now he's like, okay, I figured out that I'm in some kind of prison. That used to be the prisoner, right? Now, Aatrox is just out here doing whatever because he thinks he's got him on lock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, just like with most beings, when you think you've won, you stop expecting someone to come for you. When you're at the top, you don't expect someone from above to come for you.
Yeah. Well, I guess in this case would technically be a zero if you think about it.
Well, yeah. But, so you have the host is now just kind of biding his time. Because Aatrox, again, is still trying to break, like, free of, like, and basically kind of just be like, I don't have to worry about keeping the prison intact without, like, I don't need the prison to be the thing that's kind of holding me together. Like, this is my transit into the world right now. And he's trying to fix that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, he's so hell-bent on that, he's not really noticing the other guy. And he's kind of like spooning at the wall kind of deal, like Shawshank Redemption style, just little by little, not noticeable to anyone if you're not looking for it, right? So he's just chipping away at basically at Aatrox's will, right? Just kind of chipping away, but not at a rate that's noticeable, that where you'll be like, wait a minute, something's happening. Oh, you want to fight? No. So it's just like he's just slowly inching at it. And then like at a certain point when like Aatrox is kind of at like you said, like prisoner desperation kind of thing. Like when he's in like a, not necessarily a vulnerable state, but like when he's like in a blood rage or something where it's just like fight, kill, whatever. And someone runs up, like if Azir like runs up on him or something and like fights him and just weakens him just enough, the other guy starts to fight back, which then causes his focus to be split. Because now he has to worry about maintaining control of the body and also fighting somebody in said body. And then we'll have like a Kane situation.
I mean, that would be interesting. Though I'm curious to know how that would work, since apparently Aatrox does groom his potential host. So I'm curious to know how that would work.
Well, like I said, it would be...
Also, apparently, like, it would be interesting to see just, like, the different versions of Aatrox that would come about. Like, is each host the same looking type of Aatrox, or does each one look different? Because
Right.
like he's possessed both males and females.
Right. So it would be like some kind of. I feel like it would all get. I feel like the head and face would probably be the same, but like the physique would probably change due to like how much the body could like
Morph.
endure of a morph of like that physical like transformation of all that energy like running through them. So like maybe like if it was female, it would probably be like a more slender version of him, but I still think they would probably be like still jacked. Um, and so
I would like to think of it as a oh god, a Zeus situation from Ragnarok.
yeah, just like you can't maintain the same thing. But all right, so that's Aatrox. If you're interested in seeing what his actual lore is like and what he actually is, check out Aatrox. But that is what I would like his lore to be like. That he's in a like his absolute control isn't as absolute as he thinks it is, and someone
Mhm.
actually fights him back, right? Which takes us to
Well,
your girls.
I was actually going to say like are we going to focus on champions that we feel like need updates or like need modifications? Because going over like for example like Ari's lore because it recently got updated. Well, I say recently, but it was like updated like a year ago ish. Time's a weird thing, but like to me like I feel like they definitely did good with her lore because they expanded more on like why she craved human emotions so much because to her it was to Ari it basically became like a drug.
Well,
Like,
let's
wait,
give us the spark notes, my dude. Ari is next.
well, I was getting to that. It's rude. Um, each. But yeah, no, it's because like Ari's a Vestian, so nine-tailed fox, and she basically learned that she could consume the essence and life force of basically any human or life form. Because let's face it, there's various life forms on Runeterra, but humans were always her go-tos because of how many emotions that they displayed or had, especially on well death. So SparkNotes version, uh, over time, Ari basically became drunk on the various essence of just like various people, especially the I'm trying to think of the right word for it. Basically, the like I wouldn't say the despair or like the shock. That might have been the shock factor that people got when they were coming to their end. Um, but the part that they add to her lore that I do like, it also makes me sad a bit, is when she basically after like identifying herself as a monster with how many people she's basically killed and taken their memories. She did find someone who wasn't afraid of her and fell in love, and they fell in love. But unfortunately, the monster side came out and drained his essence fully. So he basically was killed by Ari, which set Ari into, well, depression? I guess that's the right word.
I feel like that's the only word.
Yeah. Grief, well, yeah, depression, grief. Um, and another thing they've added with her lore is like they expanded more on like, because one thing we didn't have early on, because like we had like just the general identity of the Vestian race. Like we never really had identity for each race because Vestian is just an overcompassing name, whereas there's various Vestian groups. I actually just learned this by reading hers. Her group was the Vasani, I think that's how you say it. Yeah, apparently the Vasani were in a Vestian tribe that brought innovation and magic to the world. Unfortunately, they got wiped out.
There's a lot of that.
I'm going to blame Demacia. Um,
It probably was them.
Probably. Fuck Demacia. Um, but at this stage of her story, Arya's goal, like she doesn't want to be burdened by the heavy weight of her regrets anymore, and is and wants to build her own memories, and not just like she wants to leave the stolen memories behind and build her own. I'm like, to me, like the update they did to Ari's story, one fleshed out her character more, because let's face it, early Ari, people came up with their own stories that were way too raunchy. Um, but I feel like this one adds a lot more clarity to her character, her story, and where she's going. So I feel like there's not much, at least to me, I wouldn't want to change. Um, I mean, I would be interested a bit in the artist, that pretty much basically love at first sight for the most part. Like, I would like to know a little more about him to like get some of like his thoughts, but yeah, obviously he's dead.
He be
He
dead.
dead. But yeah, no, like to me, like I feel like Ari's story is pretty good.
All right, so that is our champion number 2, Ari. So check her out, our nine-tailed fox. Next up, we have Akali, who has a lot of stuff to go along with her. So do you want this one since you played her a lot and play her, or do you want me to do this one?
Oh god, not gonna lie, I was basically was the entire time I was talking about Ari, I did not think a single breath. So like my heart is like, huh. But I mean, we can basically discuss the champions at the same time.
Ah,
Like, I
all
feel
right.
like that would be a
Well,
little
I'll
better.
give.
Build ideas off each other.
All right, so I'll give brief overview of what she is, and then we'll go into what she's become. So
A
Akali,
badass.
yeah. So we have Akali, who is our designated edge girl, I guess.
Yeah. When they reworked her, they definitely made her more edgy for sure.
So she is your classic ninja assassin, Ninja Gaiden style. Like, you see her, you're probably not coming out of this alive.
I could see her added to Mortal Kombat.
She's basically Katana, just
Yes.
a different version of Katana. Like, she could be Katana's sister.
Yes.
Just, actual sister, not half sister.
Mortal Kombat, please add Akali as a DLC character. I will buy that in a heartbeat.
Netherrealm. There we go. So she is the runaway from the ninja order that is known as the Kinko. Her title was the Fist of Shadow, and she was like, I'm bouncing. There was a lot of politics that went on with the Kinko. It's like the leader, you have Shin, which we'll get to, Zed we'll get to, and Kennen we'll get to, are all members that are related to said order and or were a part of the order. And she basically was like, y'all can figure out whatever you want to do. Now, she didn't completely abandon everything. Like, she still remembers everything that she was taught from her teacher. So she's not just like, fuck you and everything about you. But she still, like, jumped out. She jumped ship, whatever. She has a thing for bad boys. And unfortunately, the one bad boy that she had a thing for is Batshit, because he has a darkened weapon. That is Kane. We'll get to Kane later.
Wait. When did this become a thing? That
she has a voice line with Kane of why are the hot ones always crazy?
Oh my god. I have not fought Kane as a collie, so I have never heard this. Oh shit, I need to look this up.
It is the greatest thing. So she thinks she likes what Kane looks like, but the fact that he's bonkers is just not okay. But he's not bonkers because of the darkened weapon he wields. He's just insane.
Oh Jesus. Freaking 5 years ago. Next ship of the fleet. Kane and a collie. God damn it. Someone's like, if this replaces the cancerous Kane and Zoe, I'll gladly take it. Yeah, no, I'll agree with that.
Oh god.
Yeah, wow, I've never. Well, I guess that explains all the fan art I've seen.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's so funny. I would love that to be a thing.
True Damage Kane, come on.
Oh, that would be so good. Okay, so that is a great transition into the other thing. So Akali is one of, oh, we totally left that off on Ari.
Oh yeah, the skin line.
That she, so as a part of the things that they do is like obviously the skin lines. So skin lines create their own universe as well. So
God, yeah, no. The God, the skin universes they get
they get
they're
deep.
out there.
They get deep. We'll have to circle back to them. But essentially, she gets added to a K-pop group called KDA, and KDA is actually very popular. So if you're listening to this now and you don't know about them and you're into
Honestly,
pop music like that,
when KDA first like was shown off back in what 2019?
don't get me lying.
Fair enough. Basically like everyone was talking about it just because like it was obviously the newest thing, but also just like how well it did.
Yeah.
I need to look up when Pop Stars released.
So
Yeah, the first song was Pop Stars. If
yeah,
if
it
you're
was Pop
curious.
Stars. So if you're into that, you know, that would be the music recommendation. Go listen to KDA.
Yeah, 2019.
Pop Stars.
I got the year right. Woohoo!
It is both in Korean and English. There is a mix. So it's not just that for all those K-pop haters. I don't know why.
Magma.
No, okay. To be fair, Magma is not a K-pop hater. He's doesn't appreciate all of the like the repetitiveness of pop in general. It wouldn't matter if it was in like English. He still wouldn't enjoy it. He just doesn't like the repetitiveness of pop. I think he still would like the groups if he was to listen to their other songs instead of the ones that are constantly on like the top 10 playlists or whatever. Like if he listened to like the rest of the albums, I think he would like it. Like I really think that he would like EXO. I like there's so like especially because of this like the music that we've sent each other and like this rap ciphers that he's like EXO and Monster X have some amazing rap tracks, and so I feel like he would enjoy that too. And not all of them are in Korean, so some of them are in English. So
yeah, there's definitely been a lot more English coming out, which I'm fine with.
which is great because it's showing that we're finally treating international artists like they freaking should be. Because there's so many of them, and like we're just missing out on all this like variety of music, because people are just so stuck in their ways. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so but also Akali is a part of two groups. So she's part of the original KDA one, and then she struck off on, well, not struck off, but she became the catalyst for another one, True Damage, being the more rap group.
Yeah, because True Damage and KDA are obviously in the same universe, and basically, with the success of KDA, Akali wanted to branch out and help another group basically grow and get their names out there, and that's how she came across the members of True Damage.
Yes, so if you were interested in that, check them out. All right, next up in the line, we have Akshan. Oi. I have a lot to say about Akshan.
Okay. So that's why she left.
Um,
Yeah, sorry, before Akshan, just going quickly back to Akali. Yeah, I really feel like the Noxian invasion like has such a big impact on a lot of Ionian champions. Like, because like the reason why Akali left the Kinku Order was because of Noxian invasion, and Shen basically wanted to take a passive stance, basically like defend what needs to be defended, but like slowly. Whereas, because like obviously the Kinku's whole thing is defending the material, but also the spiritual realm. Akali wanted to focus on the material, and because of that, it's like she basically said that the Kinku's way of doing things is accomplishing very little, and that's why she left to basically defend the way that she wants to defend Ionia. And now back to your regular scheduled broadcast.
Regular scheduled broadcast. We have Akshan. All right, Akshan.
He's a mess.
He's a mess, but they also did so much wrong with him. Like, he could have been...
We did so much, but so little.
So much, so little. Okay, so Akshan is a rogue sentinel, and the sentinel was like this order of like individuals that were created to deal with the shenanery that came from the Shadow Isles, which was caused by a love-struck boyfriend, well, not boyfriend, husband, king. He was a husband. Yeah, he was a king first, but the reason why we're in this predicament is because he was a husband. So
yeah.
So husband loses wife, loses mind, causes problems. We'll get there when we get to the V's.
Gets killed by wife, doesn't remember.
It's
tries to revive wife again.
Whole ordeal, and Akshan's involved in it as well.
If you those listening do not know about the Ruination, good.
We'll get there. We'll keep it safe.
That was
rough.
choice of words. It was probably a dark spot on League's history.
It was rough.
Pun intended.
And all the pun said. But ride with us to the end, and I promise you'll have fun with all the disasters and the things that come from us just talking. So Akshan could have been, you know what? Screw it. Lord be damned. I'm just talking. Akshan could have been so much more, and they fucked him.
Yeah, I'll let you just go ham with this one.
Okay, so for those, when you look at it, he's Shuriman, and Shuriman being the Egyptian-based region of League of Legends. So we all know how beautiful and ornate and lovely the Egyptian culture is, right? So you have a very Aladdin Prince Ali-esque individual mixed with the I will do things how I please, like what was the twins, the guy twin from Assassin's Creed Syndicate? Jacob.
Oh, yeah, Jacob.
So mix those two together, you get Akshan. And on paper, that should be the perfect man. Perfect.
To me, that just sounds like a prick.
Exactly. Who said what I said?
Oh, geez. Perfect man.
Perfect man is a prick to somebody.
Fair.
So they have it, and then they have him. His main weapon is a, it was called the Absolver, right?
Yeah, Absolver.
The Absolver, which is a mystic artifact of a weapon that basically brings the dead back to life if it takes the life of the one who was like the killer. So essentially it's the trade out. It's someone always has to be dead, but who is dead is traded. So, you know, if Infernal gets taken out by Sacred, if I take Sacred out with the Absolver, Infernal
if you try to take me out, we're going together.
I understand. But as long as I make sure he goes out after the fact, then we'll get Infernal back, and then we'll just be without Sacred as we are now. He doesn't listen because he doesn't support us like real friends. We'll deal with that later.
Yeah, his life has just been a freaking train wreck for the past year.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So we have so he's like, you have this weapon, right? And you have this guy who's living by his own code, as most rogues do. You know, very quintessential rogue, right? But he's really like, he has they gave him the personality of a performer, which is kind of counterintuitive to being a rogue and kind of just being like, I was here, but you really are going to have a hard time proving I was here mentality.
It's like, I was here, but I wasn't. It
was like, are you sure it was this person? Because there's no trace of them kind of deal. Like, right? You get in, you get out, you do what you came to do, and that's that. But instead, there's a lot of almost like a borderline god complex, which is understandable because you do essentially effectively have the power over life and death.
Yeah, which Kindred is not happy about.
which we'll get to them um, when we hit the case. And so, but instead of continuing like this, like, because, even though the Ruination was meh, we still did get some level of closure, which was the fact that, okay, he went through all of this to find the artifact to basically bring back somebody that was important, right? And he's going around trying to take out all of these in, like, quote unquote bad guys. And you're going through this, he has such an epic quest, right? He's taking out all these different individuals. He's realizing that, okay, this is not the person I'm looking for. I'm still on this hunt for the, he has this one track mind, but it's not, breaking down the more people he's killing, because he's not realizing that, hey, maybe this isn't it. If I go to the person I'm trying to revive back, like, if I look them in the eyes, can I? If I have to look them in the eyes, am I going to be able to after everything I did? The answer is no, because he's killed a lot of people up to this point.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get, like, real closure, because he never actually does find the person that, did it. So the one he's trying to revive never gets revived, and he ends up getting, like, sucked into this other thing in the process. And he was like, well, yeah, I can do a thing, and that's how that goes, kind of deal. So with him in game and how they made his kit, it's very, people do play a lot with the get in, get out, or wait for the perfect opportunity, come in for the cleanup duty, right? But a lot of people, most assassins, but a lot of people, unfortunately, use the other part of the kit, which is basically just being very showy and annoying. So, like, grappling on things and just going in a circle, and just
around the world, around
just
the world.
memeing it up, right? Just memeing it up, just ridiculous, right? So I'm just like, okay, why did you guys do, like, I understand, like, kids or whatever, but, like, for the story that you created around him, for something like this, there was so much to work with. And don't get me wrong, there is stuff, like, there is the story of, of him actually, like, looking for everything and his grief and his bio or whatever. It's just, that was it. There was no real growth. Not, like, how do you go on a killing spree in the line of like, avenging someone, essentially, but end up on a revenge path, which, there's a delicate but defined difference between the two, and not come out of it learning anything. Like, he's, in his mind, he still thinks the same way, that, hey, that particular, like, this particular person didn't deserve to die, what have you, or whatever. And then it's just like, we'll bring them back. And it's like, no.
See, like,
you shouldn't be like this still.
For champions that came around that time, and to be honest, after, I really feel like they just never really fleshed out, like, the personalities. Well, besides Viego, his wasn't hard to flesh out, because he's basically a madman. But it's just like, I don't know. It feels like lore-wise and just personality-wise, I don't know. Some of the later champions that, I don't know, they just feel flat.
Oh, very, very much so. Very much so.
Because like I understand, like, there's a whole list of champions that we're going to get to. Honestly, I'm more in the camp of just, like, giving them all titles, like Mr. Cowman, called Milkers. But
that could be his thing. That's gonna be Inferno's thing. The nicknames that come with all the champions over the years that we've given them in game and out.
Alistair, Cowbell.
Cowbell. It needs more cowbell. So.
Oh yeah, no, it's just like I do appreciate that Riot is bringing back the lore team. At least that's what my understanding is, that they are bringing it back, because, like, when it came to the Ruination and after, like, the newer champions just don't have the same, like, appeal or pop that, like, older champions had, because, like, we got stories, we got cinematics, we got a bunch of stuff that made us like learn about these characters, really grow with them in a way, and like get us excited to like play with them.
Yeah.
But it's like the newer ones like don't really have that. I mean, like the newest one, the Fury, it's like even though we don't really know much about her lore, it's like it's a demon dog. Like there's not really much you can do.
No, see, I have so much for her.
All right, let's skip to the Fury just because that is the newest topic.
All right, let's
Let's
skip.
go to the Fury.
Okay, so we'll jump to Neferi. So
Oh.
yes, demon dog, but also not demon dog, right? Okay, so as we know how the various interactions with the Darkin are, right? So you have we already
Darkin
did
dog.
we already talked about Aatrox, and his was just full control, right? We haven't gotten to we will get to Kane, who is unfortunately Rost is very very much a prisoner, very much so, such a prisoner.
Yeah. We'll just give a snippet now. Basically, Kane is a member of the Shadow Order that Zed, who is part of the Kinku, but founded his own ninja order in Ionia. That I believe that one focused more on controlling the magic of the land, compared to the Kinku Order, which was focused on protecting it. Kane is a part of that order, and I forget how he comes across Rost.
He was on a mission.
But he was on a mission.
Yeah.
But during the mission, he found Rost, and now they are basically both fighting for control. So unlike Aatrox, who can have perfect control, Rost is having to fight Kane to try to take over his body,
And
which
is
I find hilarious.
failing miserably. With Kane in game is very a what if scenario. So mechanically they give it. It's like, oh, okay, you either go full into like give in to the hate kind of deal, and Ross comes out, or it'd be like, all right, shut up and sit down, and it's just full Kane, right?
I honestly feel like it's because of Kane's training in the Shadow Order or whatever heck Zed's ninja clan is. Like, I feel like it's because of his training and also his ability to use the shadows that he's able to maintain control from Rost.
Well, that and he's batshit.
Well, that too.
Kane is literally mentally unstable, and so how do you gain control of something that it didn't even have control of? Like,
Ask Deadpool.
That's not control.
Of course it is.
That is unhinged chaos in a red suit.
Basically, Kane is the Deadpool of League. Ross is the red box.
Rost is the red suit.
Oh no, I was gonna say the red box because have you read the comic Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe?
No.
So, not much of a spoiler. Deadpool basically tries to kill the entire Marvel Universe. But at the beginning of the comic, I forget which scientist is, some Hydra scientist, because Hydra always likes to screw with stuff, basically tortured Deadpool to the point where the serious and, well, somewhat serious, and the jokey box that was in Wade's head disappeared, which caused a red box to appear, which told him to kill everything.
I see. Yep, Zuko's on control.
So that's why I'm saying Kane is Deadpool.
Is a Deadpool. Yeah, Zuko's on patrol. So like obviously in game it's like, but like Kane, see, that's what I want Aatrox to be end up. Like I want it to be a Kane situation eventually where it's okay, now you're really fighting for control, but it's more of Kane and Rost, it's less of a fighting for control and more of a I'm not going to give you what you want because I want the same thing, so I don't necessarily need you fully. Like, I'm already out here murking people as as we see fit. So you in your weapon form is more than enough for that. Like, you don't need to be out. that's all you want to do is just destruction. I'm already doing that. You're already a part of that. He's basically trying to argue a reason to give in, and he can't, and Ross can't come up with one. So Kane is just like, well, you're just stuck. But then also, obviously, the in-game comments of like him like just being an annoying sibling, where he just constantly calls Ross' name. He's like, Ross, 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 and Ross is just like, what?
Shut up.
Hi. Shut up. Like, it's just, Kane is torturing Ross. It's so funny. But so back to Neferi, who's going to be our last one of the hour, and then we will pick it back up on next week's episode. And for our subscribers, we're not going to do this series as well. We're just going to do a regular subscriber episode, so you don't have double dose of leak stuff. It'll just be back to our regularly scheduled shenanigans, which I will figure out tomorrow. Obviously, when it goes live, it'll be Friday, but day of recording I'll figure out tomorrow. So Neferi is going to be great, because Neferi is she obviously, you know, it was the pack of dogs, the wild dogs that got a hold of Neferi, and the wolves. Now, the way that the cinematic showed it was that it was the pack that connected with her. And so, obviously, like, she has the one body of the, you know, wolf. And then in-game, like, her abilities is summoning more. And so that she becomes the pack, which is in essence of how she manifested, because that was all of the thing. And given that animals don't have individuality in the sense of how we describe it, it's completely instinctual. So it's just pure survival, and, you know, single target goals. Like,
so that's how she became a pack. Sorry, while you're explaining, I'm also reading into her biography, because I'm also new to her biography as well. And yeah, like when you said that the dogs got a hold of it, like I wasn't exactly sure what you meant, so that's why I wanted to look into it. The fact that her blade broke apart and embedded itself into the pack.
Yeah, because they bit down on her, right? Like, and essentially kind of like broke her.
Yeah, it basically broke, and like pieces of her ended up on each of the pack members and as a result, she just took control of the entire pack. That explains why there's more than one dog in her kit, and also why that is terrifying.
And so, yeah, so now you have a head, that obviously the lead one, and then you have the others who, you know, follow. And and how they've already established is that, you know, instead of, and because of the pack mentality that she's now been fused with, instead of just kind of being out of taking destruction on everyone, she was like, all right, the only way we win this the way we want to is if all of us get back together. Like, if the rest of the Darkin come back together, instead of just being out and about doing their own things single-handedly. And that's why it's going to be so much for her, because now you have the instinctual, animalistic, for all intents and purposes, what's the term for it? It's a strategic term of when you, like, it's kind of like surround, like in corner, but I can't remember the term for it specifically.
Surround and conquer?
Not, I thought it was divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer, yeah.
No, it's when
but
you,
I feel like
basically you push them into your designated place, and then
Pincer maneuver. I don't know.
maybe that might be it. It might be pincer, but that's just like the main means. It's like you have the head on, and then you have the flank, and then you push them into a place where they can't get away, and then you just devour, right? So now that tactic is something that, Aatrox has to come to terms with, because that is a legitimate method of fighting. Like that. So now it's like, okay, he now has to compete with the pride of being a Darkin and being a warrior, and that here's another of his kin as what, for all intents and purposes, he would view as a lesser being now because they're bonded to dogs.
They're bonded to dogs, but at the same time, Neferi was strong enough to be a potential leader of like the Darkin.
Exactly. So now you have a power struggle. You have the world ender, and you have Dog, who was essentially the competitor of World Ender. So you have those going at it, and obviously we still have one Darkin that's not with us yet. And then you have Rost, and then there's Varys. And
Varys is a whole thing.
Varys is a whole thing, and also Varys is another one where I want to talk about Varys, but Varys will be like the first one we talk about next week. Okay. Is how he became himself.
Okay, but yeah, I was gonna say it's like for next week, let's just because like obviously there's over 100 of these champions, we should just make a list of ones that we really want to talk about and like really want to address, because like.
Yeah, I don't know. That makes sense.
Because even with a couple episodes, it's gonna be tough to get through every single champion.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, and we're bouncing around already. So yeah, you're right.
Well, yeah, I mean that's also just.
But that's just us. That's just how it goes.
One thing leads to another, and then we're at pie.
And then we're at pie. So yeah, I really think that Neferi is going to be a game changer in the sense of now we're gonna have two factions of. Like Darkin politics almost, because obviously there's not that many Darkin as we know that are running around.
She is the 4th.
She's the 4th.
Yeah, man. One more, we can have a full team.
We'll have a full team. And so
we need a Darkin support.
We need isn't because there's 2 more that hasn't been released, right?
I believe so.
So I'm hoping.
I'm hoping for more Darkin. Heck, I'm hoping for more Void. That's not Belveth. Belveth she is an issue on her. We'll save her for next week.
She'll be on the list. We'll get to her. So, hope you enjoyed our ranting of the various characters that we've covered so far in League of Legends, of the game that we play with What or Not.
And also, if you play League of Legends, or at least have an idea about it, most likely through Arcane. Because that's how a lot of people actually got started with League, was through Arcane.
Yep, that's a good start.
Let us know like which champions pique your interest, or if you play the game, who's your main?
Yeah, who's your main? Also, if you are a subscriber, that gives you access to us, so you get possibly 2 more people to play League with. Me for sure, because I have nothing to do when I get off work, so I usually play like 2 or 3 games. Also, I'm in Elo hell, so I'm trying to get the fuck out of it.
And the reset's coming soon too.
And the reset is coming soon.
20 days.
Hopefully, Jin stays pertinent enough that I can just climb with Jin.
Jin has always Jin. Jin has always he has always had some sort of relevance, no matter if they nerf him, buff him. Like, to be honest, especially with the stack shiv changes that they released, like, ADCs are just popping off left and right now. Heck, mages are popping off a lot more now.
Yeah, it's great. I can't wait to static shiv Ziggs and just wow.
Oh god. Yeah, that's what we need. Like an evolved version of attack speed Ziggs.
Yep, it's gonna be great. But yeah, so we'll continue this on. Hope you enjoy this. If this isn't your feel, then just kind of hang back for a bit while we cover these episodes for this particular game, and then we'll try to catch you back in on when we start the Overwatch one, or you can become a subscriber and listen to those episodes.
And also, what I always say, like, if you have any topics that you like us to talk about or possibly rant about, let us know. Like, we're open to suggestions, and this one over here would be more than happy to talk about it.
Yep. So socials are in the description as usual for said contact, and the links for where we pull the information for League of Legends Universe will be there as well. So enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your life.
Stay
Till next
hydrated
time,
out there.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye bye.